Good day, everyone. Hi, my name is JOLINA from MEM ELM program. I hope that everyone is all right in spite of the situations that we have, and let us be optimistic to change negative vibes into a positive one. For now, sit back and relax as you listen to our discussion together with my groupmates. By the way, we are group 2 who are assigned group for today's topic. I am the first supporter of our group and I was assigned to discuss the meaning of instructional multimedia and traditional materials. To begin with, let us first define what is the meaning of instructional multimedia by knowing it word by word. So, instructional. So, instructional meaning, it means that it provides a useful information or knowledge. That is according to Merriam-Webster. Media is a form of communication, both printed and visual, with all the equipment. When we say equipment, it is the medium on how we are going to transfer or how we can give the information or the knowledge. Next, we have also another is for media, for communication channels through which news, entertainment, education, data, or promotional message are disseminated. Like what I mentioned earlier, disseminated is how we transfer the learning or the information from us to other, or from the producer of the information to the recipient of the information. And we have the combination of the word multi and media. What does it mean? Multimedia is simply the use of multiple forms of media to communicate. This media can be visual, images, text, audio, video, and music. From the word itself, multi meaning multiple way on how we can transfer, or we can simply give the information by the use of multiple forms of media. I already told you that media is about communication or how to disseminate information or knowledge. So by the use of multimedia, it simply stated that it could be, or we can use multiple forms of media on how we can transfer or how we can communicate the information to the recipient or to the learners. Also, multimedia using, involving, or encompassing several media. So that is according to Merriam-Webster. We also have, it is a technique, a combination of sounds, video, text, and it also on how we can express our ideas to communicate, to entertain, to teach, and so many other ways on how we can use the multimedia. Even in private sectors, it can be used, knowing or giving what is the company's rules and regulation. For example, hiring a newly hired employee, you need to explain what are the guidelines, what are the rules and regulation of the company. And by that, we can use multimedia to explain such a thing. So multimedia is very useful. It can be a useful technique in so many ways, not only in a private company, but also in teaching profession. If you are familiar with teaching strategies using ICT integration, it multimedia is also a useful technique in teaching our learners. So next, multimedia is simply the use of multiple forms of media to communicate. This media can be visual, images, text, audio, video, and music. So I think this is already given earlier. So only repeat here. So as an overall, the question is, what is instructional media? Instructional media first. So according to Gerlach and Ellie 1971, media is general in human, material, or event that construct, condition, and cause student to gain knowledge, skills, or attitude. Of course, not only a student, but also other people or person who wants to understand specific information, or a person who really wanted to learn such knowledge or ideas. For example, the very popular now is the do it yourself, which everything that you want to learn, you can watch it on the YouTube channel. And if you want to learn how to cook, if you want to learn how to design, how to decorate, you can all research that on a YouTube, and then you can follow the instruction, you can follow the procedure on how to do it. So, meaning to say, it could be educational, entertainment, for art, and that is very useful nowadays. And according to Gagne 1985, media is component at student environment to stimulate instructional. For example, you are a science teacher and you were about to do an experiment. So you have to explain the procedure to your learners on how to do the experiment. Not only to explain, but also to show, to demonstrate how to do the step-by-step or the procedure about the experiment. However, not all the time we can show them, or we can demonstrate it. We can use a video recorded and together with a sound and text, a combination which is called multimedia. And we can allow the student to watch the video so that after watching the video, they can automatically know the procedure on how to do the experiment. If there are chances that the student doesn't understand the procedure by watching it on the video, you as the teacher, you can facilitate on how to do the experiment, if only if they did not understand the video. Or after the video, you can explain some details that the student wants to ask. So in order for it to clarify. So we have media as a physical tool to deliver teaching materials. That is according to Racer and Gagne 1980. Next, we have Heineck et al. 2008 by saying something that consists of instructional media is something that consists of information and knowledge to do an instructional process. So we have it, the meaning of instructional media. It encompasses all the materials and physical means an instructor might use to implement instruction and facilitate student achievement of instructional objective. So by the use of instructional media, you can easily discuss the lesson. You can easily explain the procedure and show them how to do it. By the use of instructional media, the student can perform better because it is attractive. It attracts them. The learner can easily uh, engage themselves to listen to the teacher, not only in a teaching profession but also in other perspective in a private company, not all the time attending a seminar, attending a workshop. If you are a newly hired employee, there is a speaker standing in front of you and then explain everything. Not all the time that is the way that they do it. Sometimes other speakers are having the use of instructional media in order for the audience, in order for the participants to engage their attention and to listen to the speaker. In short, the use of instructional media can motivate and encourage the audience or the participant to listen to the speaker. And it will not be boring. It won't have a dull moment because you can use your creativity by using instructional multimedia or instructional. And we have here the examples of instructional multimedia. But before that, of course, instructional multimedia is when individual forms of media like the text, like the video, and the audio are being combined to represent an information. Okay? If you are going to combine those forms of media, it is called multimedia. Okay, when this multimedia is used to instruct, therefore it is called instructional multimedia. Again, instructional multimedia media is the form. It could be the individual form on how you are going to deliver the information. However, if you are going to use individual forms of media and you are going to combine it to represent an information in a multiple forms, that is what we call multimedia. And if the multimedia is being used to instruct, to teach, to explain, that is what we call, or to give information or knowledge, that is what we call instructional multimedia. So that is what instructional multimedia is. And basically, that is what we are doing right now here in our subject. Diba? Instructional multimedia, our professor, at the same time our classmates are teaching us, sharing their research about the things that they've learned, the things that they research, in order for us to gain the knowledge and to use it in our own way. If you are a teacher, you can use that to your learner. If you are hired in a private company and you are assigned to do a report, you can also use it, right? So meaning to say that if in every situation of your life, you can use instructional multimedia, because instructional multimedia is not only in a modern way of life, but even in other traditional. It also includes the use of the newspaper, the magazine, the billboards, and many other traditional ways on how we can transfer the learner. And as we go deeper to my report, I am going to I am going to discuss some of the example of traditional materials that we are using in making an instructional multimedia or using in media. So here, as you can see in the picture, we have there the text, the audio, the graphic, the animation, etc. So here. So as I mentioned earlier, the instructional multimedia is not only for modern technology. Yes, it also includes traditional materials like the following that is here. Yes, we have billboard for advertisement, we have radio, we have newspaper, we have TV, we have direct mail for magazine, we have that, we have poster. So for radio, that is somewhat to do with the sound, with the audio, TV, audio, visual, with the text, of course, newspaper, visual, and text, and all of those things are giving us useful information and knowledge. So in traditional materials, when we say traditional media, is it a type of media that have been used before the internet and mobile phone technology were developed? Meaning, even though we are not that popular yet in using mobile phone and the use of internet is not that popular, there is a way on how they transfer and disseminate the information. So let's move forward. So here are an example of traditional materials. We have television, advertisements, radio advertising, print advertising, direct mail advertising, billboard and outside sign, cold calling, door-to-door sale, banner ads, and many other. I didn't mention all of those things, but you can use Google in order for you to research some other types of traditional materials. So let us have it one by one. So I have here some of the examples of the traditional materials in terms of media. So radio, we know this is an example of a radio. As you can see on the screen, you have the example of a radio. It is where the electromagnetic waves are transmitted. Of course, it carries a sound message. So as you listen to the radio, you can simply hear the information. You can simply learn from the knowledge or ideas that is being given to the radio. So that is what radio is. Next, I have here television or TV. Nowadays, we are very familiar with TV, right? Of course, we have the smart TV, the flat screen TV, but the one that you are seeing on the screen right now is the very old model of a television. Of course, a television, it is a system by which it transmits visual image and sounds that are reproduced by the screens, not same as the radio. It only transmits sound message, but in television, it transmits visual images at the same time sound images. As you listen, you can also see what is the information all about. So cheaply used to broadcast a program for entertainment, information, like having the news, what is the updates, and also it could be useful in our education. Um, Way back the days, we have many educational TV shows like Escuela, and nowadays we have I Believe. So we have educational TV shows, but in other TV or television that are popular nowadays, like the smart TV and the flat screen TV. You can use your flash drive. You can download educational sites or educational files or educational video that you can watch through the use of your flat screen or smart TV. You can connect to the internet so that you can research the things that you want to watch. So that television is very useful. So not only in education, but also in other forms of living, like in entertainment, information, news, and many other things. Of course, we have the newspaper. If we do have the radio, if we do have the television, we have now the newspaper. The newspaper is a printed publication by which it consists of the ideas or the news that we really wanted to know. What are the updated events that are going on in the Philippines or in the world around us, in the community? It also features not only news, it also features an article like, for example, advertisement, entertainment, correspondence, and if you are finding a job, there is also printed there in a newspaper. Of course, we have magazine. A magazine is a periodical publication containing articles and illustration. Most of the time, it is very useful to companies which promoting a product, or they are promoting something with regards to the product that they are selling, or to the what do you call that, to the things that they are offering, not only a product, maybe services, like, so typically covering a particular subject or area of interest. In a magazine, they do have a specific target. Eventually, if it is for entertainment, for advertisement, um, for the update in terms of the artist, so many other things. For example, decoration, designs, and it's either about food, about life, about so many other things. So magazines are different in terms of the subject or the area of interest that the publication really wants the audience or the viewer wants to know about a particular advertisement or product. So we have the billboard. Eventually, if you are riding a vehicle and you pass by to the SLEX, NLEX, or in other expressway, you can notice that there are a lot of billboard there, because a billboard is a very large outdoor board that displaying advertisement. So as you can see here, an example, we have lots of billboard that is posted along the road. If you are about to ride a vehicle and you pass along the road, you can eventually see those example of billboards. And billboards contain advertisement and details that the company wants to imply to each customer in order for the customer to know what is product and make them realize that is it possible that they can have that product, they can have the interest in particular to that product that they've seen you by the use of billboards. So of course that the thing or the traditional materials that I mentioned earlier is only some of the traditional materials. If you know some of the traditional materials, you can post it on the comment section. And if you want to learn if you want to learn more, you can use Mr. Google. If you have the internet connection, you can have some or other examples of traditional materials. But the thing that I mentioned is just some of the example of traditional materials. So along that examples, I also list here, I also list the advantage and disadvantage of the traditional materials that I've mentioned. So for radio, the advantages people can remember, definite target market. You have the connection with the DJ and inexpensive. While in disadvantages, you have the short exposure time. Listener may not pay attention, cannot reach large audience and duplication. And for television, we have the advantage, extensive coverage, low cost per contact, high intrusion value, segmentation through channel. And the disadvantage or clutter, when we say clutter, it, it is messy. It is not that organized. Sometimes it is very disorganized, cannot understand the details very much. So low recall DVRs. When we say DVR, that is digital video recorded. So automatically in television, that is recorded one. And they're just going to flash it on the screen and then advertise. That's it. So high cost per ad. Per ad, the payment of it was per advertisement, but per contact that is having a low cost. But if it is per advertisement, that can cost them a lot or expensive. For newspaper, we have selective geographic, strong audience, longer copy. So for disadvantages, short lifespan, clutter, and internet competition. Like nowadays, internet, if we're going to type, click, enter, Google, everything was there. You doesn't need newspaper because you can already watch, you can already read it on by the use of internet, right? So that is one of the challenge in newspaper. For magazine, we have high segmentation, targeted audience, and color quality. We have the disadvantages, which are the readers declining, clutter, high cost. The next one, we have the outdoor. Example of this is the billboard poster. So for advantages, we have low cost per contact, large visual, digital, easy for local ads. While we have the disadvantages, short exposure, low segmentation, simple message, clutter. So before I end my discussion, I would like to give you a quotation stated that never stop learning because life never stops teaching. This quotation, I read this while while scanning my Facebook account, and I realized that every day is a new day, right? And every day, every single day of our lives, we have to learn something, and we have to realize and we have to have a self-check, because sometimes we think of the things that it might be a failure, but at the end of the day, we have to think that not all the time we succeed. right? So sometimes we succeed and thank you for the achievement, and that is a good thing. But if we failed, it doesn't mean that you have to stop, because in every failure that you have in your life, there is a lesson. There is a lesson that you can learn from that, and if that happen again, you will know how to do it, how to deal with it, right? So in every failure, it doesn't mean that you have to give up. In every failure, we have to learn something. So never stop, because in our life, life doesn't stop teaching us many things. So I think learning also doesn't should not stop there. If we are still alive, especially in the situation that we are having right now, in the pandemic, in spite of that situation, even though we are just inside our house working from home, we are learning something, right? Just open your cell phone, open your laptop with the use of internet. You can read. You can join many seminars and webinar. So not only that thing, maybe a life lesson, life values you can learn, and how to be contented while you're just inside the house. So that will be the end of our discussion. So here are the reference that I used in order for my report to be possible. So thank you, everyone. My name is JOLINA ARCIAGA. And if you have inquiries, if you have questions, you can ask me, you can email me at my Gmail account, jolina.arciaga@gov.ph, or you can call me, text me at my phone number for important inquiries with regards to my report. So before I end, I would like to introduce the next reporter, which is about to have the comparison between the one that I report in terms of the traditional materials. She's going to report about the modern media that nowadays we are using. So it's my pleasure to introduce her. So let us welcome the next reporter.
Good day, teachers. I'm Karen Tubibaya. I'm from the MAEL program, and I am here today because I would like to talk about some of the educational and technological tools that we can use in these trying times of pandemic to, of course, help us meet our objectives and at the same time provide a fun learning experience to our students. So it's clear as the day that ever since this pandemic has begun, it's put the entire world in a very challenging position. All important sectors of any nation have greatly been affected by this pandemic, from the healthcare system to international relations to economies and many others. And of course, the education sector is no exemption. Needless to say, we're greatly impacted by it as well. I mean, there's this threat of entire disruption of the education. But the thing is, well, good thing that we're living now in the digital age and we can make use of technologies or technological tools to help us continue with the delivery of education. So there. And well, today I would like to introduce some of the tools that you can make use of in your classes. So there. And may I just say that even if this is something that is new to everybody, we've always been trained. I mean, as teachers, we've always been trained to be adaptive and at the same time prepared for whatever thing might things might come our way. So this is just really going to, be an easy peasy process for us teachers because again, we're built for this. So, first, I would like to talk about a helpful tool when it comes to administering quizzes, or tests. We know it too well that one of our responsibilities as teachers is to make sure that at the end of every learning experience, our students will be able to demonstrate mastery of the content of our lessons, right? And in what better way will we be able to find out about it other than conducting assessments like administering quizzes, tests, unit tests, and what have you. And today, well, as you can see in front of me, I have here the SOCRATIVE website. So we have here SOCRATIVE. Let me just give you a bit of an overview of SOCRATIVE. So SOCRATIVE is a cloud-based student response system which was developed in 2010 by some Boston-based graduate school students. Now, what it does is that it allows teachers to create simple quizzes that students can take quickly on their portable media devices like iPad, tablets, smartphones, laptop computers, or even personal computers or desktops. So that's it. As long as they have the access to the internet, they can easily partake on your quizzes every time you launch them. Okay, so when you key in the website address, this is what you will see. So let me just give you a quick tour of their website. So this is what you will see on the page. We have here the overview of the website itself. So it says here the very core message, which is visualizing and student understanding has never been easier. You can watch the video yourself once you have the time. And we also have here their selling point, which is quiz and grade at the speed of learning. So immediate feedback is a vital part of the learning process, which is truly indeed. SOCRATIVE gives you just that for the classroom or office, an efficient way to monitor and evaluate learning that saves time for educators while delivering fun and engaging interactions for learners. So there. This is what you will see on their webpage, okay? But more onto that when you have the time, okay? So there. For now, I would like to focus on how does it work. So, well, here on top of the page, you can see some tabs, okay? You can click on those tabs, all right, if you'd like to find out more about it. So the K-12 Higher Ed Corporate, those are, those are the different groups, okay, that you can choose from to have yourself identified with, okay? So if you're teaching K-12 students, then go to K-12 Higher Ed Corporate. And this is where you will see the plans that they're offering and how much does it cost. And on this tab right here, the apps tab, that is where you can download the applications, okay? So we have the SOCRATIVE for students and SOCRATIVE for teachers. So this is how much SOCRATIVE costs, right? Currently, I'm on a free account because I just want to give you guys a tutorial. And well, if you'd like to make use of SOCRATIVE for your classes, you can upgrade to these accounts depending on your need. So for SOCRATIVE Pro for K-12 teachers, it's going to cost you $59.99. For SOCRATIVE Pro for higher education and corporate use, it's going to cost you guys $99.99. Okay, so on the applications, just like what I said earlier, that is where you can download the app. And we have applications for both teachers and students, which can easily be, distinguished because they only varied in color. So yeah, and if you'd like to read some of the blogs they publish on their website, you may do so on this tab right here. Contact their support if you need help. Okay, so this time, let's get down to the use of it. So I'm going to log in as a teacher, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so once I entered my information, I will be routed to my page. Okay, and on the teacher's page, you can see there. Okay, that's your name on your profile. This is your classroom name. You set it upon signing up. And on this button or tab right here, you can see 0. Actually, this is where you will find out how many students are currently taking the activity that you will be launching. Okay, so there. All right, and you also have the power to clear your room, and we'll talk more about that later on. Okay, so first we have here the tabs on the left corner, right? So we have launch, quizzes, rooms, reports, and results, which is currently grayed out. Well, that is because there is not an active activity that's currently launched on my page. Okay, so yeah. As for the activities that you can launch, here are the following. So you can launch a quiz, a space race, or an exit ticket. So these are the activities that you can launch. But the thing is, since we're on a free account, you get to launch only a single activity. All right, depending on what you need on that day. Now, the quizzes that you can create, okay, can be made up of these types of questions right here. So we have the multiple choice, the true or false one, and also the question that would require students to provide short answers. Okay, now actually you can you can use a combination of these three depending on on your preference. Okay, so there. Now let me give you an example how it's gonna look like if you were to launch a quiz. Okay, so first you will be asked to choose the quiz that you would like to administer to your students for the time being. So let's say I'll choose the I Like School one. All right, and you will also be asked which delivery method and settings would you like to apply on the given quiz earlier, so or chosen quiz. So you can use the instant feedback. For the instant feedback, this is when students answer questions in order and cannot change answers. Instant feedback is provided after each question, and you can monitor progress in a table of live results. So you can also opt for open navigation. Students may answer questions in any order and change answers before finishing. You monitor progress in a table of live events. So this is when students will be allowed to see the entire, list of questions, and they can just answer whichever item they'd like to answer. And yeah, that's about open navigation. And we also have the teacher paced. Well, with this option, we get to control the flow of the questions and monitor responses as they happen. We may also skip and revisit questions if need be. Okay, so those are the delivery method and settings for each quiz. Okay, you set it yourself. As for me, I love getting instant results, so I always go for instant feedback. So I click start, and the quiz will be launched. Now, when the quiz is launched, this is how your page is going to look like. By the way, all you just have to do to be connected with your students, or for your students to participate in this quiz, is to provide them your room name. Okay, so I have here on the other page, okay, the student login page. So all I have to do is to enter my room name, which is something that you can find in the middle of your, or in the center of your page. Okay, now, yep, we can see here student login room name, enter room name. Upon entering the room name, they will be prompted to enter their student name too, their names rather. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna use my nickname. Here it is. Oh, sorry. It's asking for a room name, so I have to enter a valid room name, which is this. Okay, MS Karen Baya, or Miss Karen Baya. Now, once you successfully entered that, just like what I said, they will be asked to enter their name. So yeah, and this is how it looks like. Once they enter their names, the test questions will start popping up. Okay, so as you can see, we have a multiple choice question right here. Once they give the answer on your screen as a teacher, their answers will automatically pop up. So there. Okay, let's say, yep. All right, for item number 2, I got it right. And this is what I was talking about earlier. You can use a combination of questions, all right? So you can, I mean, it's not just limited to one one type of question for a quiz. Okay, so you can use multiple types of questions depending on your need. Okay, so there. All right, now if they got an item wrong, okay, so it will also show on your, what do you call this, your um tab. Okay, so let's just try to finish off the items right here. Okay, easily. All right, so that I could show you the results in a bit after we do so. All right. Okay. There you go. All right. Popular. So there. Now, once they finished the quiz, this is how their page will look like. There will be a message that reads, "You've completed the current activity, waiting for the next activity to begin." Okay, so if you no longer have any other activities for the students to take part in, you can just ask them to log out. Okay, so once they log out, and that means that the class or the activity has ended. Okay, now going back to your page as a teacher, so this is now what it looks like after you launched an activity. Okay, so you will see the items that they got correctly, the items that they did wrong, right? And also how much weight does each item have. Okay, so there. Now we have here you can also check the results for progress, for scores, and for the number of items that they got correctly. Okay, so it's up to you, however or whatever result would you like to check. Okay, it's available right here, and it's available real time. So there. Now after remember I launched a quiz. Okay, so this time the activity is over, so I'm going to just end this one right here. And don't forget, the results tab right here is currently active because there was a quiz that was administered early on. Okay, so there. Now let's go back. All right. Okay, so earlier we launched a quiz. This time, let's try to launch a space race. So space race is a type of activity that you can use to encourage collaborative learning and make your students participate in friendly competitions. Okay, so again, you just have to click launch space race, choose a type of choose whatever quiz would you like your students to answer. And at the same time, you can choose how many numbers of teams will be participating. The auto assign, meaning the system will automatically assign the members of each team. And for the student choice, they can, choose whoever they would like to work with. Okay. And for the icon, right here, you can choose whatever icon would you like to represent. Would you like to use to represent the teams that will be playing in your space race? So let's say I'd like to choose the B icon. Okay. And voila, this is what you will see on your page. Okay, so you will see the number of teams that you set earlier, and we also have here the icon that will be representing each team. So, the B here, the avatar, will start moving depending on the number of the correct items of your students. Okay, the number that they got, the items that they got correctly. Okay, so every time that they answer it correctly, their avatar will move, and whoever gets to the finish line first will be announced as a winner. Okay, so you can click finish right there, and once you finish that, the results will be available right here. Okay, so you can get your students' results. Okay, so you can ask for the whole class Excel, for the individual students PDFs or question specific PDFs, and on this side right here you will see the means, okay, that these results will be sent to you. Okay, so it can be emailed to you, it can be emailed to the students. Okay, it can be downloaded, or you can save it on your drive. So there. Now, let me just go back to the active launch tab right here. We have the exit ticket as well. For the exit ticket, this is one of the crowd favorites because the thing is, you can get an instant feedback about your teaching that day when you launch an exit ticket quiz. So, from the term itself, exit ticket, this is usually administered at the end of your lesson, and before dismissal, right? So only after the students answered the items or the questions right here on your exit ticket, only then they would be allowed to leave the classroom, right? So here are some examples of the questions that you can use for your exit ticket quiz, right? So how well did you understand today's material? What did you learn in today's lesson? And you can create your own as well. And yeah, that's the reason why exit ticket is something that a lot of teachers like, okay, because at least they could get an instant feedback, not just on the mastery of the students of your lesson, but also with your teaching. Okay. So that's it, and let's just explore a bit the quizzes. I mean the other tabs right here. We have the quizzes. Okay, on the quizzes tab, you will see there your stored quizzes. Okay, and when did you create them, download, and the share, button. Okay, and you can add more quiz right here. This is how you will create a new one. Okay, so you create an untitled quiz, choose whatever type of question you'd like to choose. Okay, so there, all right, and it will give you an option, true or false, and questions with short answers. And once you're done, you just have to click save and exit. Okay, so that's it. And the rooms, again, we're on a free account, so we cannot have multiple rooms until we upgrade our account to Socrative Pro. That's when we will be allowed to have multiple rooms. Okay, and as for the reports, this is where you will see all the number of times when the students or when you launched a quiz, and you can also see here the date. Okay, of course the room name, and at the same time the type of activity that you launched at that time. Okay, so as you can see, we have here the results button being active. Okay, so guys, when it's active, meaning to say there is an ongoing activity that students are taking part in. So once you're done with that activity, you can click finish, and when you click finish, the thing is the results tab will start being a grayed out tab again. Okay, so that's a tutorial about Socrative. Okay, so tell me what you think about it once you try it yourself. Now, guys, I would like to talk about Class Dojo in the next tool right here. So Class Dojo, guys, is a platform that will allow you to build communities with your students and together with their parents. Okay, so this is what you will find on their website once you um, go to their website. Okay, so I already created an account. All right, so all I have to do is to just log in to my account, and this is what you will see, guys. All right. So here's Class Dojo. This one's really simple. Okay. Again, it will allow you to build communities with your students together with their parents. So I haven't tried creating a new class for Class Dojo. So we will just have the demo class, which consists of 5 students right here. So this is what you will see on your account. We have the account settings, refer a teacher, change school, and yeah, that's it. And let's talk about the demo class right here. So as for the demo class, since clearly it's just something that we use for the demonstration, so it doesn't have a lot of students, right? So we have here 5 students with different avatars and go by different names. So we have Beyonce, Denzel, Jennifer, Justin, and Leonardo. Okay, so that's it. That's your classroom, and you will see your students there. Now, at the bottom of your page, you can see there the toolkit, the attendance, select multiple random and the timer and the big ideas part. Okay, so let's just check toolkits. So these are the tools that you can make use of during your lesson time. You can launch a timer, so and pick random students. So this is one of the favorites of a lot of teachers too, because well, if no one volunteers to answer a question, at least you can just um, what do you call this? Launch a draw lot system, right? That would automatically pick out whoever should answer the question. Okay, so we have Jennifer, Lawrence right here. Okay. So yeah. Next, we also have the group maker. So if you'd like your students to work in groups, you may do so, and you can use the group maker to help group the students. Okay, you can choose how many students how many students per group. So let's say well, I have 5 students, so yeah. All right, I can group them into I can, what do you call this, choose the number of members of and I mean in each group, right? So there. Next, we also have here the noise meter, so you can launch that to let your students know that they're being rowdy a bit. So, well, this noise meter will, of course, measure the noise that's going on in the classroom. And we also have here the directions that will ask you to key in the the instructions for your activities. Think, pair, share. Well, we have here display a question for students to discuss. So the Think, Pair, Share tab will allow your students to collaborate, okay, or answer it individually. And today, and music, okay, you can also, by the way, play music when you're using Class Dojo in your classroom. And you can check the attendance right here. You just have to, you can mark everybody present if they're available, or mark them absent if they're not, right? If they're half day, well, the icon right here will be changed. It will turn into color yellow. So depending on how many days, or if they're tardy, right, you can click that there. Okay, so now let's save the attendance. We also have here the select multiple option. So if you were to select multiple students, then you may do so. Random picker, timer, big ideas. By the way, big ideas is the tab that they can click on to visit, encouraging videos, okay, or articles. So yeah. Okay. Now the thing is, this Class Dojo will really help students develop their behaviors. So that's the good thing about Class Dojo. Okay. Yeah. Now let's go back. Let's explore more the Class Dojo right here. So, by the way, as you can see, we have here the green bubbles showing the number one. Okay, so those bubbles are currently showing the number of points that these kids have accumulated so far. Okay, so we'll talk more onto that later on. So let's go to portfolios first. Okay, so for the portfolios, we have here the activity that I created earlier. So this is where you can let them know that there's an ongoing activity that they need to participate in. Okay, so this is the activity that I asked them to participate earlier. I created that one earlier too. So we have here parts of the body. Identify the following parts of the body. Now, if they do well, we have the approved right here. Pending approval, not yet submitted. Okay. By the way, sorry, the approved part. That's when you will know if your students have submitted their work yet. Okay, so activity assigned to the to students' devices. All right, so what's next? Here's what will happen. So you have to let your students log in and do the activity, and you approve your students' responses. Okay, and student work is shared home to families. Okay, again, let me just clarify the 3 things right here. So approved, this is the number of items your students that you this is the number of answers rather that you approve of, okay, and the pending approval, and 5 people who have not submitted yet, okay. And the class story, well, everybody here uses, social networking sites. So this one's really going to be easy to understand. So this will allow you to access to what seems like a feed right here. So well, if you have announcements, okay, or if you want your if you want to share informative articles, okay, you may do so, and you may post that here on the class story, okay. So like you can attach photos, files, record, or remind them of events that are about to come, okay. So, or that they have to mark their calendars for. There. Now we also have here the messages. Of course, you can get in touch with the parents. Okay, so that's it. All right. Now you have the student login right here, invite parents, and many more. Okay. Now I'll give you some more time to explore Class Dojo by yourself. By the way, before I forget, well, remember these bubbles right here? These bubbles will show the number of points that the students made at a particular activity. Okay, or yeah, they earned at a particular activity. Now these numbers of that they have in their bubbles, okay, can actually can be deducted of a certain point, or can be added some points too, depending on their performance. Okay, so this is how you use the pointing systems of Class Dojo. So for Class Dojo, these are all the activities that you're encouraging, right? So we have helping others, on task. I mean, you can add more, all right? So depending on the skills. Now on the needs work, if you add a skill, like let's say uh, being talkative, right? If you're gonna add that, it's going and okay, let me just try to add it first, okay? Talks too much. Too much, okay? So how much is the weight of this skill? Okay, let's say 1. All right. So that will be added on the tab right here, okay? Now I'm gonna close this. Okay, so if your students are doing well, you can add, you can give them additional points. Okay, like for helping others. Okay, so Denzel had, earned a point for participating. Okay, now Jennifer is a little naughty kid. Okay, so she talks too much, so you can give her a deduction by clicking this. Okay, so when I give her a when I deduct something from her points, this is what will happen. Okay, so Jennifer will lose, a number of points depending on how much does that skill weigh. Okay, so I'm hoping I'm making sense so far. Now, guys, here's one thing that I would like you to remember. Now our kids, or the students in our class, will easily be discouraged if they continuously see deducted points in their profile. And the thing about Class Dojo, sometimes if you keep on deducting points from your student's profile, their points can be negative. Okay, so it doesn't end at 0. Okay, so please just be reminded that it doesn't end on 0. Okay, so if I do another deduction, okay, so you see Jennifer's score is -1. Now guys, our students will be discouraged. Well, yeah, anybody would be discouraged knowing that they will kick off a day and they will be starting at a negative, on the back foot, right? So my suggestion is to quit using the needs work tab, all right, and just continuously using the positive one. Okay, if there are there are behaviors that you would like to reinforce or you would like to see in your classes, you just have to add the skill. And let's say if you need it so badly, if you want it so badly to be shown in your class, okay, because that's something that they need to work on, all you just have to do is to like say, you know give a weight to it that's greater than others, right? So that way, your students will continuously do their best to you know what do you call this, to exhibit that skill. Okay, like let's say for example, all right, being organized. Okay, being organized. So, say for example, you think that your classroom is really messy, and being organized is the behavior that you'd like to see in your classroom, and you want it so badly. Of course, these students are eager to earn points, right? So, if you save that and you give it a great weight to it. Okay, so all the more that they will be encouraged to demonstrate such a skill. Okay, so if Jennifer worked on her being talkative and even started showing organization of her formerly messy desktop. Okay, I mean desktop or desk rather. Okay, so you can give her 5 points, and now she has redeemed herself and earned herself 4 points, which is the highest among the students right here. So that's about Class Dojo. It allows you to, of course, reinforce all the skills that you would like to see and continuously see in your classroom, and it will also allow you to demerit students if need be. Okay, but again, as much as possible, we would like to minimize the use of deductions, because again, it's going to, I mean, if the student is really not that of performer when it comes to showing the skills, okay, it might, I mean, they might continuously lose points to the point that they will have negative points. And again, no one would like to start um, on the back foot, right? So on the back foot of the race, meaning to say they're starting on a negative, like, all the, I think that's really much more discouraging. Okay, so I suggest that you stop using that. Okay, now I think that's gonna be it for my report, and thank you very much for sticking with me all throughout this report. So I'll see you in our next video. And again, this is Karen. I hope you had a wonderful time during this tutorial, and hopefully you can make use of these tools in your classroom. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. So my name is Adrienne Bernandez, and my report is about modern teaching applications. So we've been using modern technology long before even the pandemic have started, and we integrate this technology in our class in order for our lessons to be more interactive and at the same time enjoyable. So let me start my report with this study. This study is conducted in United Kingdom, and the title is Teaching and Learning with Mobile Technology, a qualitative explorative study about introduction of tablet devices in secondary education. So the correspondence of this study is a group of students and teachers who uses mobile technologies, tablet devices per se, in teaching way back 2012 until the year of this study. The purpose of this study is to investigate teachers and students concerning the impact of using tablet devices for teaching and learning purposes. So there are two findings of this study. The first one is teachers can be divided into two categories. The first is innovative and instrumental. For the innovative, this attempts the teachers to shift from teacher centered into learner centered style. So the teaching style has transformed into more advantageous while using the technology. While in the instrumental, it just replaces the white whiteboard or the chalk and board with the book behind the glass. And the second finding is the introduction of tablet devices entails a shift in the way students learn as the devices provide interactive, media-rich, and exciting new environments. So it just shows the advantage of the technology in our classroom setting. So there are different points on how modern technology has evolved from traditional teaching methods. So number one, improve pupil or teacher interaction. So the students or the learners are more engaging in the lessons because of the technologies, because they are more what's this excited when they see there's a new tool or application that you're going to introduce to them. Number two, increase efficiency. So before, we have to prepare prior hand, so we have to write on the board our lessons, but now we can prepare on the hand through editing or creating our presentations, and then we can recreate or reuse our existing presentations. Number three, more inspiring learning. So before, the students just look in the textbook for the pictures, but now we can appreciate our lessons through virtual learning. Number four, reduce assessment burden. So teachers may opt to check their quizzes through online applications, or there are also offline applications. For example, in the multiple choices, there are applications they just scan through with the answers, then automatically it will get the score of that quiz. And then maximize learning time. So after the lessons, we can give our learners a homework where they can watch or read articles at home, and then afterwards, when they go back in the classroom, it is the time for to answer the queries what they have watched and on what they have read. And then next one, number six, is the improved personalization. So before, teachers manually photocopy the worksheets, but now we can create our own worksheets, or we can edit some existing worksheets. Another one is increased innovation. So since there's a lot of technology available online or even offline applications, we can discover different skills by using these innovations or using these technologies with different technologies. Then next is the improved access to resources. So before, we are just using textbooks or books in the libraries, but now we can use online resources or articles that is available, or journals that it is easily to access. Next is greater pupil confidence. So in the classroom setting, some of the students are very silent because they are shy, but now they can reach you, or they can reach out. The student can reach out through online applications, or they can direct message you, and then we can interact them there, and it will build their confidence. And then lastly, improve pupil behavior. There are also applications where we can communicate to the parents directly to report their progress, and or if they did something wrong, we can correct them, or we can report it to their parents to correct their behaviors there. So for my next slide, so here are some comparison which I got it from a news article online. So it's just a comparison before and now. So actually, some of these I've already tackled on my previous slide. So let's just try to go through with this. So before, there's a physical classroom. So it's a traditional where teacher centered, and then for the virtual classroom, so it is sometimes actually this was offered already by different universities, especially the open university. It is a modular where you study on your own pace. So you have to finish in a certain period, but on your own pace. And then another one is the teaching methodology. So as a teacher, we have to adapt with the new environment, and at the same time on how the students learning. And before, so we only have the limited resources, so it is we rely on what the teachers are telling us. And then now, since there's a lot of available resources already, so we can innovate our learning styles, and at the same time different skills. And then lastly is the resources, so the accessibility of the resources. So we invest on the books before, so because this is the immediate resources or materials that we can have, but now we invest in the experience through accessing the different resources through online. And then from there we can invest through experiences. And then here are the online oops sorry and then here are some of the online applications. In the previous weeks or previous meetings, we were already introduced to different applications, but these are just supplemental, or you can explore them, that you explore them. So this could help you in preparing for your lessons for the incoming school year. So we have different applications where we can create or edit our presentations, our posters, if we need posters, logos, resumes, worksheets. So we have the Google Forms for the slides, presentations, and quizzes. We also have your Socrative, where you have this one, Socrative, for online assessment, and presentations, Canva, Prezi, Vengage, so you can create and edit your presentations there. And then we also have our Flipgrid. For the Flipgrid, we upload our short videos, and we can assess as well the output of our students there. And we also have this class dojo and ed voice, where we can communicate to the parents. So it is an application where we can easily communicate to the parents. And then we also have the Trello, where we can collaborate with our colleagues to work on a certain projects. And this Cold Turkey, this is an online application where it will block different applications in order for us to focus on our studies or work. So my partner, Miss Baya, or Catherine Baya, so she will introduce you the Socrative and Class Dojo. And for me, I will give you a short tour in Google Forms and Canva. So let's start with the Google Form. So Google Forms, this collects information from people via personalized quizzes or surveys. It can automatically connects also informations to a spreadsheet once your informants or your students will answer in the quizzes or surveys that you have provided them. And then after you are done personalizing your quizzes or creating your quizzes, you can share the work to your students or your correspondents through sharing the link via email or direct link there. So before I go the short tour with Google Forms, let's define first what is Canva. So Canva is a graphic design platform available via web and mobile. It can create or edit presentation, posters, mind map, worksheets, and a lot more. So it has a lot of template, icon, photo, videos, and can design for social media. It's just like another online graphic design platforms, but it it will what's this? It gives a lot of templates that you can choose from. So let's go with Google Form first. Alright, so before using your Google Form, so you have to make sure you have your Google account. So you have to sign up and then create your account, and then after that you have to verify your account into whichever email address that you use. And then once you verified your email, so you can start working on your Google Form. So just type in the web search your Google Form, and then look for the Google Forms, and you can be directed into this site. So in this site, you can see there's a docs, sheets, slides, and forms. So we will focus on the forms. By the way, for the docs, it's just a Word. For the sheets, it's a spreadsheet. For the slides, it's a PowerPoint presentation. So we will focus on the forms. We'll just go briefly on the basic tools for the forms. Oops, sorry. This one. Go to Google Form. Now, once you click on the Google Form, you can be directed into this page. Just click this one to create a new form. So you will see in this link, so you can see here these different tabs here, and then the questions, then responses of your students or respondents once you are done with your form. So let's start here. So in this tab, you can type there the what is your form all about. For example, this is a sample, and then on the down, description of your work. And then if you're going to send this one, we have to make sure that we know who is creating or who is doing this work, or who is answering this work. So on the next tab, so we have to write here name, so we would know who answers this work. So we have here, if you click this one, you will see short answer. So you will get what answer that you want to get. So either you choose short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox, Dropbox, file upload, and etc. But since we are just looking for a name, this is already enough. Short answer. This will require just 1, 2, or 3 words. And then after that, since this is a requirement, we have to click here, required. And then if you see this icon, this is just to duplicate this tab. And then if you don't like this tab, you can click this delete, and here you can see description, or you can click for description if you want to add a description here. And then this one, next one, responsible validation. If you have to validate their responses. Actually, this is already for the if you have your questions already, but you can uncheck the description. Next, after this one, you want to add another one. Either you duplicate this one, and then let's just change this one into section. What is their section? So the same thing, short answer. We need a short answer, and then required. Next. So now I think we are ready for our quiz. So let's go here. Either you add question, or we have to go to another part, or the first part of our quiz. So add section. For the add section there, let's type here the what is this, part 1, and then your description or your instructions, and then we can add the question here, question 1. So again, click this one if what answer do you want. So if your paragraph, if an essay form, you can add this one, or if you want a multiple choice, you can click multiple choice and then add here the options that they have to choose from. Option 1, for example, add another one. Number 2, option 2, option 3. This is just an example there. So if we're done, we can add another question through clicking this one, or we can duplicate this one, so it is easier for us to edit the question, and just edit question number 2. So if the multiple choice is the same, just stay it there, or we can choose checkbox. If you want them to choose 1 to 2 answers, you can choose checkboxes. Then they just have to tick the box. And then let's add another question for another option. Question 3. If you want them to file upload. So here. So files will be uploaded to the form owners. Google Drive respondents will be required to sign in. So they have to sign in first before they download. So continue. There. So allow only specific file tabs. If you want to just to choose one file, there you can check which file. But if it's okay any file, so don't click that one. Maximum number of files you can choose from 1 to 2, and the size of your file you can edit here as well. And then if this is a required, again you can check this one. Since these are all required, we can go back here and edit these things required. Now if you want to see how this looks like, we can go back and then click this one, preview. So we can see already how it is. So name, ADRIANNE, and then section 1. Then next we will go to the quiz section, part 1. Instructions, question number 1, just click 1. Question 2, your instructions or description should be written here. Then click 2, and then your file, then submit. Since I cannot submit this one because this is a required, so I have to add a file. Example, select from files from your device. Sorry, it take a little while. So there, for example, this one, open. There. So it is now downloaded already. Then let's upload. Then once this is uploaded as per se, we can submit it already. Now, so since we responded already into the quiz, for just an example, we can see already somebody responded. So this is just a summary, statistically, the answer of your respondents. So there is the file. This is the question for number 2, question number 1, and then the profile. And then if you want to see this one in a spreadsheet, for it is easier for you to assess, so you can create a spreadsheet. So just click the green button 1 and then change the name, sample, and then enter or create. There. So it will direct you already here in a spreadsheet, and then here are the answers, and here is the file that your respondent have uploaded. Next, so let's remove this one. Now your work or your quiz is already done. So this is ready to give to your students. So what we can do here is to send. So if you're going to send, you can type in here their email addresses. Now if you don't have the email addresses, you can just click the link, or if it is too long, you can shorten the link and then copy. Once you copied, if you want to see again your created form, just copy, then paste the link, then enter. Then there is your file again. So that's just the basic tools of our Google form. So there's a lot more available tools here that you can explore some. So good luck. Alright, for my last application is the Canva. So Canva is graphic, you can edit your graphic designs here. So you can edit your presentations, posters, and so on and so forth. So, but before you start, the same as with the other applications, you have to make sure to register an account, or if you don't have an account yet, you can just sign up and then verify your account. Then afterwards, you are ready to use this this application. Now this application is free, but I think there are just it is just limited into days. But if you want to upgrade this one, you can do so into pro or into a higher version. Though once you upgraded your account, you can use different features that you cannot access when you are using the free version. So let's go here. Once you have logged in already, so you are here in the Canva website. So as you can see, here are the different template. So you can edit your lesson plans, worksheets, videos, presentation posters, and then actually you can also edit your Facebook posts or your social media platform posts, their Instagram presentation. So these are the templates already available here that you can use, and you can also edit them there. So, or if you are looking for something, you can just type here so what you are looking for. So since I use this one to do my PowerPoint, my presentation. So technology. So you can see here the recommended templates that you can choose from. So let's go back into the home. So for your home, here there are options. This one, for the first option recommended for you, all your designs. This one that I've used already. Brand kit, if you want to do your branding. You can collaborate as well. So just add their email addresses here, or your folders if you have any. Save work before, and then at the top, so here are also your templates, which is categorized already. It depends on the what's this category or branding or functionality. Your education, you have your lesson worksheet, certificates, storyboard, bookmark. So you can just select one and then edit or create yours. So what we're going to do is, let's go to my presentation. So I use the technology, and then I just input different videos and informations that I need to place here. So once you are directed here, just input. Actually, sorry, it's quite a little while to there to load, because I think my internet is quite slow for now. So there. So from here, this at the center, this is your canvas where you're going to put your work or input your work. So if you click this one, here are the tools where you can edit your font or your text. So just like the PowerPoint presentation, and here on the leftmost, you can click this one to either you select your template for this slide or upload anything that you need, either images or videos, or you can choose photos that you want to use for this slide. Elements, sorry, it's a bit long to load. Text, music, videos, and backgrounds there. For example, let's go to their videos. So you can select this one, or you can just type there what do you want to do, or genre that you want to put in your slide. For example, technology. So after this one there, so I choose that one, or we can choose this one. Let's try to just drag it and change there. Then later on it will play there. Now, so if you want to see the effect this one, just go here to preview what you have placed as the background of your slide. Okay, it's a bit slow. sorry, so let's just try to exit. So you can also adjust this one, adjust or move there, it depends on your. You can also crop or trim, the same as true with the photos. And then if you want to go for your next slide, just add a slide there. If you don't like the slide, you can delete this slide or duplicate this slide or go to the next slide. So here for the animation, so if you click this box, you will edit the text. Then this one, I just insert the video, which is from the Canva as well. You can crop or trim this video. It's like a video clip. And then if you want to change the animation of the PowerPoint or of this slide, you can click animate and choose from this one. So for this slide, I use block there. So if you want to preview, so from previews there, and then now there, and then I did the same on the other slides there. I just use animation. Now if you want to change the background, you may do as well. Then just click that box and then choose the color that you want there. Now if let's say you are done with your work and you want to share it with your colleagues or to your students, you can share this one by typing their email addresses, or you can copy the link, the same as like in the Google form. Copy link, copy, then add in the new web browser, then paste, and then enter. Then you can see already there. You can see already your work. There you go. Now, there you go. Or you can also download this one, but there are some features that you cannot avail because you need to pay for it. So if you need to download this one, you have to pay for around 200 to 500. But if you want to really download this one, you can just download this one via PDF file. Since it's quite long, maybe you can just try to explore this one. But let's try to view this. Actually, this file pala is to see, there you go, in a thumbnail your slide, so you can change the positions of your slides. Now if you are done, you are ready to view your slide, then let's see, check there, next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide, and last slide. So that is your Canva, everyone. It is just like other tools online, so you can choose from. So just keep on exploring and choose whatever is suitable for you and for your students. So that's all. Thank you.
So hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. No, I'm just kidding. So good morning everyone. Good morning Dr. Gordonas. Good morning classmates. So I'm the next reporter for today. I am the fourth one. I am the fourth reporter for group number 2, and I will just be continuing the discussion. This will be a short and very quick discussion. So let's start now. So my report for today is all about the factors in media. selection. So I am Aaron John Castro. I am reporter for today. So first, let's start with a quote from Mr. Jack Coomey, written in Media Comparison and Deployment in British Journal of Educational Technology, year 1994, and he said, "In distance teaching institutions, the deployment of different media for different topics and learning tasks is controlled more by logistic, economic, and human factors than by pedagogical consideration." So way back in 1994, Mr. Jack Coomey is already telling us that when it comes to distance learning, we should consider more the factors, the logistic factors, the economic factors, and the human factors. When we say human factors, we are pertaining to the students and the teachers rather than the pedagogical considerations or the teaching process itself. So according to my research, according to psychologists, students do learn, just like people do learn in two ways, much better ways. So first one, students learn through senses. So when our students are able to feel it through their senses, what you are trying to teach to them, to share to them, they are learning much effective and much efficient. So remember, we have 5 senses. We can integrate this one. We can use the sense of touch, sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of hearing, and sense of taste. So once they are able to grasp what you are teaching, they grasp it through their senses, they're much better when it comes to learning. So next one, students learn through practice. So practice makes perfect, but nobody's perfect. I'm just kidding. Students learn through practice. Once a student were able to learn it through his senses and he is applying it, he is trying to do it, is imitating it, he is practicing it, then he is learning effective and efficient as well. So 2 ways students learn through senses and through practice. So next one, let's move on now to the 5 factors in media selection. So first one is content. So when we say content, it pertains to the topic that you are trying to discuss or trying to share to your students. Of course, when there's a topic, when there's a content, there should be an objective. So what are my objectives? Is my objective parallel to the media that I will be using? So that is the first question that should come into your mind when it comes to selecting a proper media or instructional media. So next one, number 2 is the physical condition. So when we say physical condition, of course, this is the environment. So are they in school? Is there an outlet in school? If I will be using laptop and projector, is there an extension cord? Is there an outlet that I could use? Is there a projector? Is there a laptop? So what is the physical condition? What is the environment? What is the learning environment? Now, we are entering the new normal. Some of our students will be at home. It will be homeschooling, distant learning. Some of it will be blended learning. So the environment will be new to them because they will not be on the classroom. They will be on their respective house or home. Next one, let's have the practical constraints. So when we say practical constraints, there should be questions that we should consider when it comes to practicality. So first one, is the media accessible? What if my students are living on the mountains? Do they have an internet access, a Wi-Fi access, or at least a data access? Is the item accessible? Another one is the item affordable? What if I want them to buy smartphones for them to learn the module much better? But what if the smartphone is not affordable? It's 5,000, minimum 5,000, 4,000, right? So another one is the item or is the media available to them? So what if they have no television, they have no laptop? The availability will be questionable. They have I want them to submit a paper, an essay paper an essay or reaction paper about Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken, we should consider these things. What if they don't have Facebook account or Gmail account? Next one. The fourth one is the sustainability. So when we say sustainability, it pertains to the side of the teacher. So as a teacher, you should ask yourself, is the media easy to use? Is it appropriate for the discussion? What if I want to inject a YouTube video about dissecting a frog? Is it appropriate? Next, is it easy to integrate, easy to inject, and is it broad in scope? So these are the factors, these are the indicating factors that we should consider when it comes to selecting a media as a teacher. Fifth one, so we have, of course, the heart and soul of the classroom, the learner factor. So when we say learner factors, we should ask ourselves or assess our learners. Do they have the same interest, background, preferences, and motivation? Of course, they have different level of interest, they have different level of background, preferences, and motivation. So it's up for us to consider these things. So what is the level of interest of student A compared to student B? What is the background of student A to student B? So what is his learning preference comparing to the preference of the other students? What is the level of motivation, right? So let's have a recap. So the 5 factors that we should consider in media selection. First one is the content, physical condition, practical constraints, sustainability, and of course the learner factor. So that's all. That's all of my topic. And before I leave, I'll be giving you or sharing a quote to you. This is an Igbo proverb. So according to the Igbo proverb, what I am told, I forget. What I see, I remember. What I do builds a castle in my head. So as a teacher, we should be aware of selecting a media, instructional media, especially nowadays we are heading into the new normal. We are heading to the distance learning. So that's all. Let's move on now to the next reporter, our reporter number 5. So again, I am Aaron Jones Castro, and thank you and bye-bye.
Hello everyone, good day and welcome to my discussion on the steps for media selection. I am Ms. SHEENA DORIA and I will be sharing with you some of my readings on how are we going to select media. So let's get started. Okay, let me ask you first a question. What are the steps that you follow or the things that you consider when selecting media? So you may post your answers in our live chat. There's no right or wrong answers here. Okay, so when it comes to teaching, teachers are bound to use technologies or media that are available to us. If we have technologies like television, radios, and projectors, laptops, we make use of them. But if not, of course, teachers are creative enough and resourceful enough to create their own. So let's not forget that instructional multimedia is not limited to technologies. It includes also printed materials, text, drawings, graphics, and many more. Alright, so let's look into our topic for today. I have found out that there's a little literature when it comes to a specific step-by-step procedure on how are we really going to select media. Alright, so I will be sharing with you the first process that I have found out. It is from Mackenzie's process in selecting media. According to him, it is important to match media according to the student's multiple intelligences. So it starts from the learners. We need to know and determine the students' preferences, age, profile, backgrounds, and everything about our learners. Next thing is the teaching objective. Of course, we need to connect or make our medium meaningful in order for us to attain our objective. Next is the intelligences. As I said earlier, that we need to match the media into students' intelligences. And the last one is the media choice. Here we are including our personal choice and our students' choice of media. So considering these 4 steps, we are able to make an effective and efficient use of media. Now, let me share with you sections model by Bates and Pohl, 2003. So this model has been revised from action into section models. This is to cater the campus space as well as the distance education use of media. So because there are updates when it comes to technologies, Bates have decided to revise some of its criteria. So what does section stand for? It stands for students, ease of use, cost, teaching, interaction, organizational issues, networking, security, and privacy. So let's have a little game first. I want you to post your answers in our live chat. Just write A or B, or you may also add your insights or your reason why you choose that option. So the situation here, you want to assign book review for your 6th grade students. All of them have smartphones, but few has internet access. Which media will you use? Timer starts now. All right. So this has something related to our students. Demographics, access, and differences. We should know their backgrounds, age. If your students are 2nd grade level, you have to make it age appropriate. Their culture. Your media should be gender sensitive. It should also caters the socioeconomic status, which directly affects student access to technologies or a media. No matter how great or good your media is, if your student cannot access it, then it won't work. Next is the differences, which includes the learning styles, learning modality preferences of your students. Next, you want to create slides presentation for your lesson. What will you use? All right. So now we are considering ease of use. If I would be given a chance to choose, I would choose PowerPoint presentation because I'm more comfortable about it and I can use it offline. But of course, as a teacher, it is necessary for us to it and to make explorations on such media platforms or different presentation or tools that we could use. So we are considering here how easy it is for us teacher and for your student to use such media. We are considering, does your student know how to manage or navigate that media? Orientation, would it take you time to orient your students how to use that media? Is it reliable enough? Or its interface design is comprehensive enough for your students? You have to make or you have to choose a media that would be easy and it would not eat up your time just teaching them how to use it. At the end of the day, technology is just a means, not an end. Next thing, you need to hold class via video conferencing with your students for 2 hours. Which platform will you use considering all your students have internet access? So here we are now considering the costs. If I were to choose, I would choose Google Meet because it's free and unlimited. Well, for the public school teachers, you're given G Suite Education account, they are privileged to use unlimited and free Google applications. Okay, So when it comes to cost, of course, we are choosing the cheapest one but has high quality. So we are considering the development. How much will it cost you to create that media? Delivery and maintenance costs. Next one. You will teach marketing procedures to your students. What media will you use? Okay, so now the next procedure or the next element is teaching. So here we are considering coherence, segmenting, voice, pre-training, modality, and personalization. Coherence, your media should be connected to your teaching objective, activities, and procedures. Segmenting, you should not be overloading your students with massive amount of knowledge. So if you want to make use of videos of your lessons, you have to make sure that it is brief enough so that your students won't get bored. Next is the voice. In voice, we are considering the students, some of the students would want a friendly human voice rather than a formal way of teaching. So here you could make your video lessons like a vlog type lessons. In pre-training, how long would it take you to introduce them that media? It is important to introduce them the concepts of touch media so that they will become familiar and relaxed and comfortable in using such media. Modality. What is the learning modality preferences of your student? Is it self-paced, independent learning, interactive learning? Okay, so you consider those things. And lastly, the personalization. Here, you are going to personalize your teaching. So here, would follow your teaching style. So the media that you should select is flexible enough that you could make some personalization. Next one. Which do you think will promote better interaction among your students? Say A, Google Classroom, or B, Facebook? Okay, so now we are taking into consideration interaction. Student material, student teacher, and student student interaction. Printed material, would there be an interaction? Yes, if you incorporated activities that would engage your students. Student teacher and student student interaction when it comes to distance education. Well, when it comes to face-to-face learning, it wouldn't be a problem because there will always and always be interaction involved. But when it comes to distance education, how are you going to promote interaction? You will make use of video conferencing to have a synchronous learning, or you could use discussion forums for asynchronous learning. Next is the organizational issues. This includes your institution's policy with regards to the use of such media. Are there some restrictions that you need to consider? Okay. Also, what are the available or the provided learning materials or instructional media that you could use? And what are the support given by your institution? Next is the networking. In networking, we are allowing our students to explore, okay, to explore different kinds of resources that they could connect in external world. Here, we are allowing them to make use of social media platforms and that they could use as a supplemental materials in learning. So it includes student-generated learning resources that are made by the students, self-managed learning groups. These are the MOOC that are available, which help the students learn through a self-paced learning. And the last one is structure-led open educational resources, which obvious nowadays because I can see some increasing number of teachers creating their own YouTube channel, posting their lessons. So that one is an example of instructor-led open educational resources that you could use. Last but not the least is the security and privacy. When you are allowing your students, allow them to access different resources, you have to make sure that your students are secure, as well as us, the teacher, when it comes to teaching. So when we are choosing a learning management system we to use for teaching or delivering of our lesson, it has to be a security feature. We need to protect ourselves and our students. So those are the things that we need to consider in selecting media. So let us recall. Media selection sections model includes students, ease of use, costs, teaching, interaction, organizational issues, networking, security, and privacy. Okay. At the end of the day, together, may we give our children the roots to grow and the wings to fly. It is our student. It's the reason why we are teaching, so they should be considered in selecting media. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.
Good day, everyone. My name is Mary Gracie DUERO, and for this day, my report is all about audio recording apps. So, to start off, audio recording apps are used for recording of acoustic signals, voice, music, or any sounds. Some audio recording apps are free, but some are not. So it means you have to purchase it first or you have to pay it by your money before you can install it in your computers or in your laptops. So after this, I will present three audio recording apps, and later on, I will help you on how you can record an audio for each recording app. So let's start with the first one, which is the Mixpad multi-track recording software. So this is the exact website of this software, and these are some of its features. So we have unlimited tracks, recorder mix, audio effects, beat maker, included music library, and supports VST plugins. So if you want to download, all you have to do is to visit their website and click download now. Now, after that, once you install the software, this is what it looks like. Now, let's move on with the second one, which is the Audacity. So this is the website of Audacity, and just visit their website and click download Audacity if you want to try the software. So Audacity is an easy to use multi-track audio editor and recorded for various operating systems. Since I observe some recording apps are limited to operating systems. For example, it is only allowed to work for Windows users or for those Mac OS users. So it's very important to find a software that is compatible to your operating system. Okay? Now, once you install the software, this is what it looks like. As you can observe, we have the wavelengths. It's an indication that you are in the process of recording. And for the last one, we have WavePad audio editing software. So this is the website itself. And if you want to download, just click download now. And for the features, we have editing tools, audio and music effects, supported audio formats, batch processing, audio restoration, and advanced tools. Now, once you install the software, this is what it looks like. So, like before, you can notice the wavelengths, and it means that you are in the process of recording and the device recognized your voice in your microphone. So we are done with the introduction of the three applications, and let's go beyond and discover on how we can record an audio. So to start off, let's have the mix pad. First thing to do is to click this button, which is the audio options for this track. So once you click it, you can see the drop down menu. So focus on the recording options and click the name of your microphone. In my case, I'm using microphone Realtek, so let's click that one. And for the choices of stereo or mono, please choose mono. Okay. Now after that, please click apply. Then apply settings to just this track. Then click OK. Now if you want to start recording, please click this button to enable recording to this track. And as you can see, we have this one length meter. It means that your voice is being recognized to the microphone that you are using as of the moment. And if you want to start recording, please click this red circle below rather, or click F5. So let's try to click it. Okay, now you can start speaking, and as you notice, there are some wavelengths. It means that your voice is being recognized by the microphone. It means you can record an audio. Now, if you are done recording, all you have to do is to click stop or click space. Now, next step, you want to save your file. All you have to do is to export mix. Don't click save project. So save project, you can see only the wavelengths of the audio that you recorded. But if you want to save your file as an audio file, please click export mix. Okay, now let's click it. And for the export options, we have the option or output file. Please click browse and choose the folder where you want to save it. So in my case, it is in the desktop and audio files. So for the file name, you can choose whatever you want. In my case, let's choose number 1. Click save. And for the output file type, please specify what output file type do you want. So in our case, let's have MP3, then click export. Okay, now our output is being exported, so let's check on the folder. So again, desktop audio files, and this is my output, number 1. So if you want to click, you can click and listen to your audio file. Alright, now we're done for the first one. Let's move on with the second application, which is the Audacity. So this is what Audacity looks like. And all you have to do first is to click edit. Click preferences or control P. Then for the device, please focus on the recording. So for your device, again, please click the name of your microphone and then click OK if you're satisfied. Now after that one, again, if you want to start recording, please click this red button or just click Shift plus R on your keyboard. Now let's try it. Okay, now as you can see, the wavelength, right? It means that my voice is being recorded as of the moment. And if we are done with our recording, all we have to click is stop. All right, now for the saving, please click File, then click Export. So for the export, you have to specify the file output of your audio. So in my case, let's choose export as MP3. Okay, now it automatically save in the audio files. So for the name, let's choose number 2. Or if you're not decided yet and you want to change, you can have, or you can change it in the save as type as. Then click what file do you want to save it. So again, let's just choose MP3 file for now. Then click save. Alright, for this one, you can edit the artist name, the track title, album title, track number, year, genre, or comments. If you don't like it, just click OK and never mind those things. So now we are done. Let's check if our audio has been saved in our audio file. And here we go. That is the second one. Now, after that, let's have the third application, which is the wave pad. So for the wave pad, first thing first is to click options. So once you click the options, please go to recording. And for the device, please choose the name of your microphone that you are using. Then click OK. And after that, let's create a new file by clicking New in the home bottom or home tab. Now for this one, you can push F5 to start recording, or if you don't want to do it, just click this red button below. Now let's do it. Okay, now as you can see, again, we have the wavelengths, an indication that your voice is being recorded as of the moment. Now, if you want to stop, all you have to do is to click stop for this part and then just click save. So again, you have to choose where do you want to save your file. In our case, let's use desktop, audio file, then click 3. So here you can choose the file that you wanted to save it. So in our case, let's use this one. Then click save. Click OK. Okay, now if you want to save this file as an audio file, you can also do it by clicking the file above here, then save project as. Entitled, let's use 4, then save. Alright, now let's check. We have here 1. The third one. Okay, you can choose whatever you want. Let's have Windows Media Player. Okay, now as you can see, okay, now it's being played. So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. And if you're not able to follow the step-by-step process, don't worry because I indicated it on my written report. So that's it. Have a nice day. Goodbye.